Recently, I got the opportunity to speak with an intern at AWS, and they really asked me a bunch of great questions. One that stood out to me that I wanted to share with you right now, and I'll give you my response. They asked me, what would be 3 Amazon leadership principles that I would recommend to somebody that's just starting their career? Now, if you're not familiar with what Amazon leadership principles are, these are principles that are based on the Amazon culture, from which the Amazon culture is derived, and they are really the foundation for how the company operates and for how the Amazonians, which are the employees that work at AWS and Amazon, operate. So the first one I would recommend is learn and be curious. If you're just starting your career, you have to be hungry to learn. You have to remain curious. Technology and the environment is changing at such a rapid pace nowadays that on the surface, it can be very frustrating. But if you embrace, learn, and be curious every time something changes, rather than you getting frustrated, you'll dig your heels in and you'll continue your learning. The second leadership principle is dive deep. It's okay to learn and be curious, but at some point, you're going to need to dive deeper. You're not going to just be able to be surface level on a bunch of different things. At some point, you're going to have to become a subject matter expert in a certain area to really be able to develop your skills to thrive in whatever position it is that you're going after. And the third thing, a leadership principle that you should focus on is bias for action. You can learn and be curious, and you can dive deep, right? And you can learn a whole bunch of knowledge, but it's not until you actually take action that things in the physical world change. If you keep all the knowledge up here and collect it all, it's just going to stay here. Nothing around you is going to get better. So you have to have a bias for action. And the way you have a bias for action is you need to be comfortable dealing with ambiguity. You're not always going to have all the details. You're not going to have an infinite time to be able to make a decision. And at some point, you're going to need to make a move. That's where bias for action comes into play. It puts everything together from learn and be curious, from diving deep, and then finally taking action. And those would be 3 amazing Amazon leadership principles that are going to just launch your career to the moon.